Hey guys, macro pattern traders. I won't say much other than a few things that are very important to me. First off, on the lower time frame, the consolidation that was taking place for the last, give or take, about 2 weeks or so led to a breakout, right? Which is great, right? This is your consolidation, roughly about 13 days, led to a breakout, and now we're consolidating up here. We're consolidating right under the monthly VWAP, which is unfortunate for us because it's going to be a little bit of a hard situation and a hard time getting above this blue VWAP over here, which is the monthly, right? It's not going to be easy getting above this. No matter what we do, it will be challenging. Now, zoom out a little bit, get rid of this, close down, close this, create a line there, and create another line here. Okay. Higher time frame now, right? If you look at the higher time frame, this is the range that you're in currently. You could, if you extend this all the way to the left, you could tell this is your range, okay? This is the bottom range that you're in. And as you see, what we're doing is we're creating impulses, consolidating, breakouts, impulses, and consolidating. And you know where that leads. That leads usually to a retracement. No matter what happens, it leads to a fulfillment of the impulses because the candles were never properly retested, right? This is not what you want to see. This is not what you want to see. See how you had an impulse here and then price action came right back down? Okay, this isn't what you want to see. Impulse, right? Impulse, price action came right back down, right? So we are more likely than not going to get a decent sized move down. And if strictly just looking at price action, I'm going to identify some levels of interest. I'm not even looking at supports and resistance. I'm just looking at strictly candle. These areas to me, these two orange areas to me will likely act like magnets. Strictly looking at the candles, right? Um, it justifies itself based off of the impulse never being retested. Okay, keep that in mind. I'm gonna leave it on the chart for us and then revisit it afterwards. We left a lot of FEGs on the lower side, unfortunately. More so, I think it was a daily. There we go, the daily. Yeah. So the daily has this FEG over here. Remember what I told you guys? I always use the EQ of the FEG. Everything else to me is just noise. Get rid of this, this, this. I don't need this. Okay. So the EQ of the FEG will act like a magnet, like 80% of the time. And we do have one here on top of us at roughly about 19.5, which is still a target for me, for us to get above. You can use it on the lower time frame, but it's a lot more noisy. There's a lot of FEGs, right? See that? See how usually more often than not hit the EQ. So it is a good indicator for you to have. I don't really use it on a decision-making basis, but the order block indicator, absolute must. Go to your 10-hour. We hit the order block on the 10-hour. And I gotta make this a different color because it's gonna confuse me. And there is one thing I want to show you guys with the order block indicator right now is that if you have, let me delete this for a second. If you have the exhaustion levels toggle on, right? The level that will act like a little bit of a challenging bitch will be this right here. 18,000, the most immediate level. 18,200, which needs to be taken into consideration when opening new fresh longs up here, which I would not advise. I would wait for a retracement and see what happens because as you can tell, we created one over here. We couldn't get above it over here. We finally broke above it. Now let's just see what happens when we come back down and retest it. Again, don't forget, you're sitting on a 10-day order block, which is significant enough to give us some kind of push, right? And then if you look at the higher time frame, the 2-day, you have a double 2-day order block between 16,600 all the way down to 15,900, right? Oh, you're not going to really feel the whole thing, but at least the median of it, the EQ of it, comes down to 15,800. So you do have some supporting order blocks beneath you. The 3-day, two massive bearish order blocks on top of us, right? Only one bullish beneath us. So if you just zoom out and not play the lower time frame, you could literally just buy and play the ping pong and you'll make enough money to be able to say, you know what, it was worth me watching the charts. I don't even look at anything under 4-hour anymore. It's just a waste of time. I've been sitting in the same longs almost a month now. I'm not even touching it. I'm not even looking at the lower time frame. But there is one thing that's very important that I want to show you guys on the weekly time frame. This cross over here. This cross over here. Pay very much attention to this cross over here. I'm going to delete everything so you guys could see it. I posted it in the Discord. It's something that needs to be hawked because this can come within the next 2 weeks. You had your first cross here, right? You got another cross here, and you got another cross potentially forming here. These two crosses in the past, right? 1, 2, have formed macro bottoms. And I'm not telling you we're at a potential macro bottom. I'm not telling you that we are at a macro bottom or that we potentially could be in the near future at a macro bottom. I think it's going to take a little bit longer than where we are right now, a few more quarters, if not a year, given the fact that the economy is acting the way it's acting. But this is not to be ignored, guys. This is not to be ignored. Regardless of what happens, when you get a cross, you're in accumulation mode. Forget about catching the pit bottom. It's very hard to do so. When you get these crosses, that zone that you're in is in accumulation. So what makes us think that this isn't feasible right now? Let me just show you guys something. I'm not going to talk about where we are today. I want to open up everybody's eyes because I understand that everyone is bearish, as am I, right? But I'm already exposing myself to this freaking market, right? Just hear me out for a second. Let me delete everything else just so you guys can see this. And I'll conclude the video. Everybody can go on their merry way. Just because I want to express my thoughts on this indicator. Again, don't forget, this is one of the most powerful crosses that we can get, right? From the time that we algo fire orange until we cross. Now look what happens, okay? Now let's see when we're going to cross. Okay, so now tell me how this doesn't look like it's the potential of us doing something along the lines of a massive fake relief all the way up here. And then we could potentially get rejected, have a massive death and come back down. Why is this being neglected? Why? We've never, ever retested the breakdown. We haven't. Now, if you take in consideration what happened in 2015, times are different now, I get it. Times are way different right now. But if you take in consideration what happened in 2015, right? We kept retesting the breakdown because the breakdown was pretty close to us. It was between $323 and all the way down to $204. Taking consideration what happened at the 6K level, right? We never retested because it was very far away from us. But we did happen to break above it and come back and close fairly close above it, right? And I'm pretty sure on the two week or the monthly, there you go. On the 3 week or monthly, yeah, there you go. The monthly, it's closed above. It doesn't matter how you look at it, but that's enough evidence to be able to say that history more likely than not repeats itself. Okay, so where is the breakdown for us here, guys? The breakdown for us here is up here. This is the breakdown in the 30s, $28,000 to $30,000. Why are we assuming that we're not going to go back up and retest that? I'm keeping it very simple. I'm not even talking about, levels, VWAPs, nothing. I'm keeping it very simple. And if you want to add one more beautiful thing to this case, quarterly VWAP, we're literally right under it right now, consolidating right under it. Same thing like what we did over here. Make this a little bit thinner, make this red, right? Same thing with what we did over here. Right? Same thing with what we did. Well, we didn't do it over here. We destroyed it here. So where we are over here. Okay, so am I 100% confident that we're about to get a massive move to the top side? Hell no. We could easily just break right back down and go to $12,000, which is you have a higher probability of breaking down than breaking up because the macro structure is bearish based off technical analysis, okay? But you cannot neglect, personally speaking, I cannot neglect these crosses and this potential cross right here. which should give us enough of a pump. Last time we got across, we went all the way up. I think it was 3x or 4x. Where'd it do? Yeah, we 3x'd. 300%. Okay? This one led to the bull market. This was just a massive move to the top side, right? Doesn't even count. This one led to a semi-pump to retest the top side, which broke down into COVID, into another move to the top side. So what happens if we do just get a small little pump to retest of 100%? Doesn't hurt nobody. That's what I'm hoping for, and that's what I'm aiming for. Now, on the flip side, majority of my bids, I'm being completely honest with you guys, majority of my bids are right here. They're stacked here on the monthly order block. I'm not ignoring this this zone. I don't care what's going on with the economy. I don't care how bad and what shape the economy is in at the time of a breakdown. If we do happen to get anywhere near these green boxes, I'm pumping a lot of money into the market, guys. Right here. Which pretty much falls in line with this right here. Still, no change at all. At all. This is still my game plan. I'm not modifying this one bit. Where's this blue? There you go. Not modifying this one bit. I'm still collecting and averaging down over here. So that's pretty much all I want to say. Keep in mind that we are selling this wedge, and it looks like we're going for that red, like I previously discussed in the other video that I made. Break above it, we'll probably do blue and collapse. But either or, guys, it's not totally unreasonable to not have some kind of exposure. The only thing that I need everybody to be aware of is the daily starting to look pretty. Be careful. I wouldn't be buying now, but I'll be looking to buy, right? The daily is already showing algo exhaustions. There is one good thing about the daily, though. Hold on, let's go over here. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. No, I need this. I don't need this. Yeah. So let me get rid of everything else. I'm concluding the video here for those that actually care about oscillators. Look at the daily trend and the 2-day trend, right? Once we broke under it, mid, so we were basically uptrending until we broke under it here. And then we just started a massive downtrend, right? We did a fake out over here, and then once we broke under it, we never were able to get above it. We were never able to get above the mid. Okay, this is your third attempt. I could probably tell myself, I'm 90% sure this next move up, whenever we get it, will break above mid. It's just based off behavior. It's very hard to assume that you missed it once, you dumped. You missed it twice, you dumped, right? You dumped. You go for a third attempt, likely you're going to break above it. And you're probably going to go somewhere around here. And now will be the big smackaroo on the daily, right? Again, don't forget, when you do happen to get above the mid, guys, it's a usually a multi-month pump, right? So if you start pumping from here, July, where do we top? We topped in November, right? So by the time you go up, come back down, go back up, look how long this was. This was massive. Once you broke above it, you didn't break back under it until 117 days later, and you topped You topped at 85 days or like 86 days after you broke above mid. So keep in mind, I personally think, I really do think that we're going to get a nice little relief. When was the last time we were this low on the trend line? Right? 2019. How about before that? 2015. Come on. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to sit here and try to brainwash anyone or convince anybody. All I'm saying is that my body's exposed, getting more exposure. I'm excited to get exposure. I'm not afraid to get exposure. I don't care if we go down to 12,000, I'll buy more. I don't care if we go down to 10,000, I'll buy more. If we start breaking 10,000, yes, I'm going to squeeze my ass because that's a little scary. You break 10,000, 9,600, you're looking at probably $6,000. 8,000 with a candle close, 6,000 with a wick. That's a little fucking scary. So I'm obviously wrong on the 10,000, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. This is content for me. This is me telling myself that I'm ready for it, you know? And I don't care what happens. I don't care what happens. It's good to have exposure on my end. Cheers, guys. Any questions, feel free to DM me. But that is my game plan. This is what I'm looking at right now. I'm sorry if the video was a little too much tied to the oscillators. I'm still in this type of game mode. And let's see what happens.